Well, today I'm spending most of the day preparing for a lovely meal this evening. One of my Indian curries again. Various recipes I'm going to do. I'll show you a few of them. You see how we've got the table laid out. And here we're going to start with an aperitif, and I've got both the châtaigne and the noir here, which means the walnut and the chestnut, as you can see there. Should be a lovely aperitif to start with. With that, then we're going to be having some poppadoms, and I hope with various pickles, and then onion bhajis, and then shish kebabs, and then into the main curries. And I hope to be doing a seafood korma and a meat madras and a Bombay potato and a meat malaya, which will be mainly fruit, and we'll see what else, but that's probably about it. There should be enough there. I'll make a start on these curries. Last night I put together this rather nice seafood korma with the prawns and the mussels and squid. Now I'm going to move on to making a meat malaya, which is going to be mainly a fruit dish, so I think you might find this one interesting. What I want to do first is chop up some pork I've got and into small pieces and just gently simmer it down till it's really tender. I want really tender meat for the meat malaya. Doesn't want to have any tough areas, because it's going to be with fruit. The fruit's going to cook very quickly, so I want to get the meat down and prepared beforehand. Dog's ready for the bits of bone there. But you wonder where I was throwing it. Sometimes you forget the dog's about when you're on your own and get used to just throwing bits of food about. Throw a bit of food down, of course there's no dog there. It was a good girl. You was in. So we'll chop this up into fairly small pieces because I want a nice delicate meal this one. I've got 6 hours now well 5.5 hours to produce the food for 6 o'clock. So I want to make a nice meat malaya, a madras curry, Bombay potato, onion bhajis, shish kebabs. I'm going to do some mixed poppadoms, spicy, peppered and plain. Some dips to go with those. There we go. This I want to put into the wok over there, and I shall simmer these up for quite a while on a low heat to really try and get them tender before I even think about putting the fruit in. Yes, dog, some more bone, you lucky girl, aren't you? Where's your sister gone? Now I'm going to put some spices into this straight away, even when it's boiling. I'll put the basic, I'm going to use a korma in this as well to make the madras, sorry, the meat malaya, because I want a very mild water in there, and put some spices in to just start to boil into it. And when that's simmered away and reduced, then I'll put in some coconut milk and some fruit. Just the potatoes in there as well, I think. Just dice up some potatoes small as well. To go in with the fruit. We'll put these in earlier so that they're nice and soft. And after the potato, a bit of onion. Just one small onion we'll do in here. It's going to be mainly fruit anyway, but it isn't a spiced fruit salad. It's a little bit more than that, so I'll get this prepared and ready to go in. And we're able to multitask with this because I'm using fruit for the salad. I'm going to be using some of that fruit salad for the dessert as well. So let's start to use a bit of that now. And multitask, which us guys can do. I only need half a tin of this in it. I'm going to have this. Some liqueur, some ice cream, some melon, lychee in each, and I'm going to put some of the lychee juice and the other into here, but not the lychees yet. Right, now I'm going to put in some coconut milk, lovely stuff. It's reduced right down now to about 1 inch or so, and this will give it a lovely sweetness. I want a very light, sweet, mild curry for this. And I'm also going to add some creme fraiche. That's a beautiful creamy consistency. And mix that up until we get a beautiful nice creamy curry. And we're going to add some fruit into that when it's all tenderised down. So all that's left to go in there now is the rest of the fruit salad, the live cheese, and we just need to slice up some bananas, and that will give us a wonderful, rich, creamy fruit salad. And although it might seem strange putting this with a fruit, we want an onion in there as well, just to give that little piquance. I'm going to put that into the mixture now whilst it's still boiling to get those really soft and right down, and I'll get on with doing the potato, Bombay potato next, I think. Now for the Bombay potato we just need to boil up some nice chunks of potato about this sort of size, and I'll do the mixture to go with them separately and then mix in at the end. I'll show you that. 6 of us, that's enough potatoes for 6 of us. I think that meat is now almost tenderised enough. It's really nice. The potato certainly is cooked. I think we can add the fruit into this and just let it cool down then. Start another curry. Right. Now I'm going to put in the fruit because I've turned the flame off and it won't matter. So we just let that fruit up in there. And it'll make a lovely fruit curry, meat layer. And that's for those that don't really like a strong curry, obviously. Settle down, put that into a bowl and start to make something else in there. So there we are, that's that lovely fruit curry with pork that's been tenderised right down, and that's beautifully creamy. Bring that curry into this bowl for now. And I can start another one there. This next curry I want to be a nice dry curry. So we won't be putting all that sweet stuff into this one. We'll be using tomatoes, potatoes, onions mainly, and normal curry powders, and of course plenty of pork. Just take any bone off. Where's your dog? Honey dog! And it's the same pan. We'd even wash it out because those spices and herbs that are in there already will be excellent to use. I've had enough curry to be frozen up for a couple of other meals easily. Take out some nice fresh pork. Steaks we've got today. You can use lamb, you can use beef, just you've got to cook it right down, whatever you do. This is the most easily available, and actually lamb is very expensive over here in France. One more piece should do it, just so you can see. And into that next, I want to put some onion and some potato again. Chop up some other little new potatoes, some neighbour's garden for this one. Fairly new potatoes. I want these a bit smaller because we've got the onion. We've got the Bombay potato to go. I've got to make the onion bhajis yet and the shish kebabs. Put these right down. Now before I put too much water in, I'm going to just fry up this a little bit with some oil just to get things crisped up a bit. Then I'm going to add more water in a moment to the onion. Just peel 3 large onions to go into this. But at this stage I'm going to add as well a bit of garlic and a few herbs, just to spices, just to blend in with the whole thing. And to whack in some sunflower oil into there, just to get things going, a fair amount, because I really want to get things crisped up, and we'll add some liquid later. There we go. A bit of garlic powder. This is going to stir onto and fry into the mix. Now we're going to Down this way, we're going to get this crispy enough a bit. Need some flavours into it. I'm going to add some of my Madras curry powder with that already. So I'll put in some mild Madras curry powder and some stronger, some hot Madras curry powder. We've got our mixture of onions, potatoes, pork in here. And that's now sealing in before I put any more liquid. A little bit of sunflower oil as well. Bombay potatoes are just cooking up there. I now need to prepare some more onions for Bombay potato. I've got my magic ingredients here. It's some barbecue spice powder I picked up a while back. It was crystallised slightly and gone almost into sugar. But it gives a wonderful piquance. I'm not quite sure what flavours I've got in there, but last time I did Bombay potato I added some of this to it. And it gave it a wonderful extra flavour, so it was a good experiment to do. So I can't tell you what that stuff is, but I can tell you it was a barbecue spice at the time. So we'll just prepare a few more onions and chop them up fine to go in the Bombay potato in a minute. I'm going to cook this up separately in a pan and then add it to the potatoes when they're cooked. And again, we'll slice these up, but this time we're going to cut them a little bit finer. Slice them this way and I will slice them this way. So I might make just a film with this one particular meal and just add that into the life in France. Need to add some liquid to this now, it's just starting to cook up nicely. And gradually turn it. You still smell that wonderful aroma of that meat Madras I just did, the fruit korma. Right, and away we go there now. We've just crisped up some of that spices into it. And we'll let that bubble away a moment again before adding more liquid. I want to put a whole tin of tomatoes into there in a moment. The onions can go in now, of course. So we just stir all that in and let that bubble away, gradually tenderise. That's our potatoes, our onions, our 2 curry powders, a bit of garlic. And here the Bombay potatoes are just softening up. I'll have to mix all the stuff up for that in a separate frying pan before adding it to them. Something else I want in here is some mushrooms, and I'm quite happy to use frozen mushrooms for this. So I just drop in a few handfuls of frozen mushrooms into there as well. And then see 4 out to cook up in there. And there we go. So that goes in. I'm not here for an army, as I say, I'll be able to free some of this up for later. Right, time to add the tomatoes to the curry now. Chop those up. I couldn't find chopped tomatoes over here, so I've had to use whole peeled ones. Put a few more tomatoes in shortly. I need to boil this down just a bit more first. Plenty there, so enough for 10 people I reckon. We've got 2 main curries and the side dishes. How the potatoes do, we'll get them just right, don't overcook them. So they're just perfect now, so that's got to come off quickly. And turn that off. Just drain the potatoes out. Put the potatoes at the back there and bring the pan to the front. So I'm going to use olive oil. I'm going to use olive oil this time. Plenty of it. Put my onions in straight away. It's finely chopped onions that I did. No liquid as yet. Turn that one on. So the main curries are now well on the way. We're on the side dishes now. I've got the onion bhajis and the shish kebabs to make yet. Mustn't forget to use a plastic tool with this. Let's get these onions nicely caramelised. And for this one I'm going to need the mild madras, so I'm going to already sprinkle in the mild madras into this, just gauging it by size as much as anything. In the meantime, the other curry is bubbling away nicely. It's going to take a nice long time to reduce down now, really turn into a nice sludgy curry. Don't want it too chunky and crisp at this stage. I want a nice soft curry. I'll let that go for another half an hour or so at least, whilst we start to make up the mix for this. Nice dry Bombay potato. Into that Bombay potato mix I'm just going to add a couple of tomatoes and some juice. I just chop those up with a spatula. Not too much, just enough to give a colour to the dish as well. A little bit bland otherwise. Just put down a bit, caramelise slightly. Everything's going to plan. Into my Bombay potato mix I want to put a little bit of this secret ingredient I mentioned. This rather nice barbecue mix. It's just a little caramelly. I think there might be a bit of hickory or something in this as well. It's absolutely ideal. Just give it that Bombay potato a little bit of extra flavour that is most unusual. So I'm going to put quite a chunk of that in there. There we go. So everything going to plan now here. There's my mixed Bombay potato just cooking up. Those onions are nowhere near cooked yet, so better yet. Not too much in there. I may not use all of that sauce. If I don't, I can use it back into here. In the meantime, we want this to simmer right down. Right, the mix for the Bombay potato is now ready. I'm going to put the Bombay potatoes into there. Just coat them. Again, I can turn it off now. I don't want to be cooking it any further. I'm going to really coat these in the sauce without the potatoes breaking up. Underneath there and bring the sauce on top of them. And then this can all sit for the rest of the afternoon whilst the sauces marinade into it. You can see there, look, the lovely Bombay potato mix. It's lovely and sweet with that barbecue sauce in it. So another little trick there for you. Hickory barbecue sauce in the Bombay potato. Now look at that. Those potatoes are just cooked nicely and they're taking on the sauce into the surface. So we'll put those into the bowl. We've got too much for the bowl here. There we go. Never mind a side dish, there's a main there. As I say, I've got enough to keep me going for the future. I did promise column some as well. There we go. Perfect. There's our side dish. So that's our Bombay potato done, and our meat Malaya with the fruit. It's time to make the onion bhajis and the shish kebabs. I think we'll start with the shish kebabs. And of course, for both we're going to be needing onions. Certainly for the onion bhajis, we'll do for the shish kebabs as well. And we'll just trim those up and chop them fine and drop them into the blender. Now for these I've got minced beef rather than pork. although minced lamb would be the more traditional. As I say, that's so expensive over here, so I'll whack half a kilo, pound or so of that into there. And I'd like some mixed herbs. All of this is going to cook up nicely and grill up. And I should need tikka powder. I'll make my own curries up. Most of the time I tend to use these rather nice blends you can buy, which is where you can get them from. Plenty of that in there. This is not a curry powder then, this is the tikka madras, sorry, this is tikka masala powder. That should be plenty of enough in there. A little olive oil again, just to go in with the mixture and help hold it together, but also when I cook it, it's going to, there's too much fat in the beef, it'll just add. And that should be all we need for those once they're minced up. So let's hope they work. Mix the tops together, put into there, switch it on, and with any luck, there we go. And that should do it. Let's take a look at that, see what we've got. Oh yes, that's a nice mixture. So we've just got to roll those into sausages and have them ready to grill. Nice big plate for those. And make those into nice sausages to be grilled. So you may free some of these up as we did last time. Right, there we are, ready cleaned up for the next process. I'm going to put these away in the fridge, ready for baking tonight. And finally the onion bhajis, and then all I've got left to do is the rice and poppadoms, and of course the sweet just to finish off. I'll do that in a moment. Now the onion bhajis, we don't want to overdo the blending of those, it just has to be quite a heavy chop mix. Into that we need some eggs, some flour, see that amount, we don't need to put half a dozen eggs in there. That should be enough, I think 5 eggs in there should do it. I'll do one more just for luck. I say we've got more than enough food here tonight, but right. And I'd like to put just a little bit of flour into there as well. Farine. Just to help bind them together. So just a little bit of flour. It wouldn't be self-raising flour. And then it's just a matter of flavourings. Again we'll use this time I'm going to use a slightly stronger madras mix. I won't need a lot because they'll be sweet enough as they are. Maybe I'll put a little bit of garlic in. Maybe a little bit of this mix that we had talked about earlier would be nice in there, just to give them a slight sweetness. Barbecue mix, a little bit of garlic powder, a bit more piquance. And that should do it nicely. So we just need to mix those up, but not overdo it. The curry's now done. Might be a little bit hot. We've got such a cool one as well to go with it. It should be alright. I'll just put that into a bowl as well. And I can tidy up and clean up. That's my bhajia mix. I've used a few too many eggs, I've got a feeling, because it's a bit wet. But I think we'll be alright. Oops, I think we'll be alright. Pour that into here and I can spoon it out to the hot oil later. That mix is just thicken up and I can just tablespoon it into the hot fat tonight to make the onion bhajis. You're making some raita sauce to go with the poppadoms, are you? What are you going to use?
Mint, cucumber and yoghurt and a bit of seasoning.
Oh, jolly good, thanks. Now to go with the fruit salad, I'll have a nice slices of melon. I'll just halve up a melon and we'll slice it into pieces to go in there. Drop those halves into there. That's that. All I want to do then is one last secret ingredient. For the pièce de résistance, the secret, as I was saying, is a little châtaigne liqueur, just 1 cup onto each of these. Will give that lovely nutty, sweet flavour that they'll all be wondering what the hell was that. So that's some of that, which is rather lovely. Here we've got loads of mushrooms suddenly appeared out here on the lawn, of all places.
Up there, but not
Where?
up near your chair.
So we'll leave a couple of little mushrooms there to see if they grow bigger, and we'll go across to the plum tree, and I think there's a few ripe now, because I do love fresh plums. Now the method that I use for rice is to put 1 cup of rice to 1.5 cups of water, and it just absorbs it up, and we should end up with perfect rice if we don't get it burning. So to judge how much this pan will take. One. 2. I reckon 3 cups would be plenty. And 3. So 3 cups is, so for 1 cup it's 1.5, so 2 cups is 3. 1, 2, 3, and 1.5 more. Rose is very kindly doing the shish kebabs for me in the oven, and I'm going to now heat the oil up to try and get some onion bhajis down. See if we're ready to try these bhajis, see if they work. Looks good to me. It's coming off, but hopefully it'll be alright. As I intended, but not bad. A bit sloppy, the mixture. Right, the rice is there ready and just steaming away a bit so that it dries out. The onion bhajis are coming out okay here. A little bit crispy, but well cooked. Just turn them over. Pan. Right. Onion bhajis. So if you start with the poppadoms,
I've got a ringer now, I have a face in front of me.
You've got 3 sorts of poppadoms there. You've got plain, pepper and another one. So if you don't like spicy, and find some space for this.
Wow, look at you.
And then we've got shish kebabs coming, so you can work it with your poppadoms and onion bhajis and shish kebabs at the moment. Rose is just coming with the other sauce and the shish kebabs.
Oh, wow.
I want to make some space.
Oh.
So the idea normally is you've got a little plate here, is you use that to put your sauces on. Just pass the big plate round, choose your sauces and then just pile on your
Sorry.
sauces from me. No, it's okay. So, poppadoms and onion bhajis, and hi guys. I'll just film occasionally during the evening so that people can see what we've been eating, because I'm getting some lunch, okay?
We would meet us and have a little convoy. There's two campsites, one by the river, just across the bridge.
There is more of everything, there's certainly more rice, so you know, if you need more rice,
€8.
please just say, oh no, there you go, Phil.
€8, is that all? Oh, yeah, we should start the other one. Ours is more expensive. This is amazing.
Lovely.
You've done incredible job. I've been so looking forward to this.
Well, that's exactly the thing, so if you have been, let's enjoy.
Right, this is mine, isn't it?
Right, as you can't get Indian food like this over here, oh, nowhere actually, not even in India, quite like this. All there again, Peter.
One's a fish, one's...
Right, so that's the mild fruity one. That's got yogurt, that's got creme fraiche and fresh in it, and coconut milk and everything else. So that's very fruity and mild. That's a very hot one, or fairly hot one. It's in Madras. This one is potato bhaji. Sorry, potato bombi potato. It's just potato and onions. It's a medium. That one's a medium, and that's the fish one. You've got chocolate, everything, Phil. You've got chocolate, a little bit of everything, Phil.
If you pass now,
Oh, right. That's
if you pass me your plate.
Really, a great job, yeah.
It's beautiful.
Well, I'm amazed because, I mean, you know, carp is bad enough. So here's the dessert. Has the evening been good, dear?
It's been very nice, thank you.
You enjoyed yourselves. Enjoyed the curries, good. Well, here we have the sweet. Now, you've got to tell me what secret ingredient there is in this, alcoholically.